These are the Sirui Nightwalker lenses. These are fast, affordable, and lightweight lenses. I've used these for a few shoots now, and I have some opinions about these lenses. So first, let's do a quick overview of these. I'll compare them to some photo lenses, and I'll tell you what I think of them at the end. Hey there, I'm Keith, a videographer and designer from Cleveland, Ohio. And if you like either of those things, feel free to check out some of my other videos after this one. The Sirui Nightwalkers are small, fast lenses made for Super 35 cameras. I have the set of 24, 35, and 55 here. Sirui did send me these to review, but no money exchanged hands. They don't get to see this video before I'm posting it, and all these words are my own. This is the final set of lenses and the case that you will get if you were to order these on their campaign. I think it was Indiegogo or Kickstarter, or if you order these off their website, this is the set you will be getting. The Nightwalker kit comes in black or metal gray. I chose the black version because I was a fan of the black and white with the blue accents more than the metal gray with that like yellowy orange writing. I think the metal gray also costs an additional $50 per lens. So the metal gray costs $3.99 while these black lenses costed $3.49. If you catch these lenses on their early bird campaign, you can get them for around $50 off per lens. The 24mm weighs about 500 grams. The 35mm weighs about 520 grams. And the 55 weighs about 550 grams. If you're picking these lenses up, you're not likely to notice a difference, but I wanted to see if this would make a difference when I was balancing them on my gimbal. I used my DJI RS3 Pro with my FX30, and I didn't have to rebalance any of my gimbal arms when I was swapping these lenses, even when I was using the focus motors. The filter size across all of these lenses is 67mm. These lenses are made out of aluminum alloy, so they are durable, but they're not really heavy. All the gears are also made out of that aluminum alloy as well, so if you attach your follow focus or wireless follow focus to the focus or iris adjustments, there is a very secure connection. I was using my small rig wireless follow focus and my DJI RS3 Pro with the focus motors, and I was able to have a secure connection with my follow focuses to these lenses. A very unique part of these lenses is the t1.2 aperture. These lenses are very soft and have vignetting wide open, and in general, I'll go over a little bit more in a second, but the 24mm has the most vignetting wide open, while the 35 and 55 have about the same. Surprisingly, by T1.4 and T1.8, the vignetting is significantly reduced and gains back a lot of the contrast, but the edges are still pretty soft. By T2.8, the edges are starting to sharpen up, and by T4, they're almost as sharp as the center. The character at T1.2 is nice if you're going for a dreamy effect, but it's also nice that by T1.8 and 2, these lenses clean up and you get more contrast. I know that comparing T and f-stops isn't exactly the same, but for comparison, here's a quick example between the Sirui Nightwalkers and some of my favorite photo lenses. Comparing the Nightwalker 24mm to the Viltrox Photo 24mm, we can see that the Nightwalker is warmer and softer than the Viltrox. The Viltrox is sharper at lower apertures, while the Sirui looks entirely different. This is the difference between photo and cinema lenses. Photo lenses tend to be clinical and precise, while cinema lenses have more character. One look isn't better than the other, it just depends what you're shooting. Looking at the Sirui 35mm compared to one of my favorite Sony lenses, the 35mm 1.8. At 1.8, we can see the Sony lens has much more contrast and sharpness than the Nightwalker. At 2.8, they're starting to both sharpen up, while the Sony still has richer shadows. The same is true at f4. The Sony lens paired with the Sony body is applying some lens correction, so we get less distortion, while the cinema lens leans into those distortions. What you see is what you get. No internal lens corrections were applied to the Sirui, or really any manual cinema lenses. This is more apparent in the next set of tests. The Sirui 55mm versus the Sony 1.2 isn't exactly a fair fight. The Sony costs about 4 or 5 times as much as the Sirui, but this will help better illustrate the differences between photo lenses and cinema lenses. Comparing these lenses at 1.2, we can see that even wide open, the Sony retains more contrast and sharpness. The Nightwalker is looking very stylized, while the Sony has been optimized to give a more real-world look to the image. You can tell the distortion correction from the Sony is being applied here too. While the photo lenses are sharper and have more contrast, even wide open, the cinema lenses still have a certain look to them. While filming a product commercial where the client wants to look as realistic as possible, I'd probably reach for a more precise lens. But if I was filming a more creative project and I didn't need autofocus, I would have no problem reaching for a more stylized set of cinema lenses. For edge-to-edge sharpness, let's take a quick look at some charts. The 24mm is slightly soft in the center, wide open, while the edges are soft and have some vignetting. You can see some apparent chromatic aberration in the edges at wider apertures. Even up until T4, the edges are a little soft, while they tend to sharpen up at T8. The 35 isn't quite as soft wide open in the corners as the 24mm. By T2, the edges start to sharpen up, and by T4, they're looking very sharp, especially compared to the 24. The 55 is a little sharper still, sharpening up the edges by T2, and by T2.8, they're looking as sharp as the 35 was at T4. This is a common trend with the Nightwalker lenses. The wider the lens and the more wide open it is, the softer and more vignetting it has. But when you get to the tighter focal lengths, they tend to clean up faster. Here we are in DaVinci Resolve, just quickly going over this. Here is the 24mm. Here is the 35mm and the 55mm. And again, just with some test shots, here is the 24, the 35, and the 55. The 24 looks like it's a smidge warmer than the 35 and the 55, and it seems like the 55 is like slightly cooler. So it's almost like the 35 is the sweet spot, and you have the cooler 55mm and the slightly warmer 24mm. So I'm working on a LUT pack that will correct all of these slight changes, and I'm just going to base it off of my color checker passport that I have here. If you're interested in these conversion LUTs, they will be available in the description below. If you find yourself shooting RAW with the Sony cameras, one thing to note here is distortion. If you're using the Sony lenses that are applying those lens corrections and you're shooting RAW, you will not be getting those lens corrections. RAW recording takes the image straight off of the sensor and there's no corrections or any kind of other processing done to that signal. That's one of the reasons that RAW looks so different from your internal recordings. With cinema lenses, what you see is what you get, whether you're filming in RAW or internal. Quickly going over focus breathing, the 24mm does have some focus breathing. The 35mm has less, and I didn't notice any on the 55mm. If you're using the 24mm with the most focus breathing at T1.2 and you're focusing from the minimum focusing distance all the way to infinity, you may not even notice the focus breathing because there is so much bokeh happening in the background there. In my work, I don't do a lot of minimum to infinity focus racks at wide open, so this isn't a problem for me, but it is something to know. When it comes to flares on the Nightwalkers, there is a fair amount of flaring happening at T1.2, but it's not completely washing out the entire image like I thought it would. Here are some tests that go into the different flaring characteristics of the 24, 35, and 55. For distortion, the 24mm has the most distortion. The 35mm has some recognizable distortion. And the 55mm has the least amount of distortion. One complaint here, I would have liked if these lenses came in L or PL mount so I can adapt them to E mounts, but if I get other cinema cameras in the future, I could just use the PL or L mount that I could use with those future cinema cameras. That would have been nice. I realized these lenses would have been way larger and cost more, but for a budget cinema lens, I understand why they're going with a dedicated, shallower mount like the E mount. I typically use a mist filter for those low contrast shots so I can control the strength, especially between the different focal lengths. I rarely use manual focus at T1.2 on moving subjects since focusing on that is very difficult. I use these lenses around T2 at the fastest, and you still get a little bit of character there, but it's not completely washing out your image like it is at T1.2. When comparing these lenses to photo lenses tend to have a more clinical approach, while the cinema lenses are a little bit more creative. Using these to your advantage and leaning into that lack of contrast and lack of edge detail and distortion maybe can help tell your stories in more creative ways. What do you think of the Sirui Nightwalker lenses? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you liked this video, you'll probably like the breakdown where I use these lenses shooting an interview. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.